All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We have an upper body strength and core workout today. We're going to get through it. Starting off, of course, with a warm-up. You will be needing a band, a long band for a warm-up today specifically. Although you don't actually technically need it, I'm going to give you guys an option that does not require that long band. But if you have them, bring them out for this first part here. So in addition to something like this, I am going to be using my dumbbells, my loop band, and this mat for this workout today. That is pretty much it, although we are going to be going through some rows. So if you do have your TRXs available to yourself, then you can use those as well. Okay, so let's get you guys started with this warm up. So I'm using this long band here. Mine's looped through, so I'm just going to take my thumbs and put them through each side and then pass this band over and back about 20 times, 10 times there and back total. If you don't have a band, you just follow along, same thing, opening up your hands behind you and then closing your hands in front of you, and we will go through 20 total. So if you have a band with like handles on it, what you can do is grab the handles and then wrap the band around your wrists, so that way the handles aren't like flopping around and hitting you, and then you can do the same thing back and forth. If you feel uncomfortable getting your arms back there, you're most likely holding whatever it is too narrow, so you can try widening up. Again, if it's still too narrow, then you can go ahead and just use body weight. Good morning, Carly, hopping in. All right, so we're using a band, we're going back and forth. Once you guys are done 20, we're going to put this band down and stick our arms out to the sides and do these little swimmer arms. We'll go up and down. And this one, I never really like to ask you guys to count because it's quite tedious to count. They're very fast. So you can just follow along with me. We want to go until we start to feel like that burning sensation, kind of brewing in our shoulders. And then we'll just do about 10 or something, again, just following along. And then we're going to turn the hands and now go forward and backward. So same thing, by now your shoulders are definitely already burning. We'll just go through about 10 seconds, straight arms, back and forth, little swimmer arms, technical terms. Whew. Okay, so once you guys have done that one, we can pick up our band again, and we're going to hold it a little bit wider than our shoulders, like so. Again, if you are a no band, you can either hold like a towel in your hand or just hold nothing and just have your hands in front of you like this. We're going to press all the way above our head and bring the arms back behind our head so that this band, our hands end up behind our ears, and then we'll come up and around back to the front. So all the way there and back is 1, and we are going to do 10 total. So this should not be painful, just like the other ones that we did. You should just feel maybe a little bit of a stretch happening, but no pain. If you feel that, you can again hold a little bit more wide, or just do this without the band in your hand. All right, so 10 of those. Once you guys have done that, we are going to put the band down. I know it's really up and down with this band, and we're going to swing out these arms, swing out these shoulders. So we'll go over and under, over and then under, and these ones you can count, and we'll do 20 of them total. And so I'm alternating up and down and swinging it out and warming up all the things in my shoulders, my upper back, all the stuff that we are going to be working. So once you're done, we have one last one that we are going to do, which is a band pull apart. So you guys are going to grab onto your band, hold it shoulder width apart here, a little bit wider than shoulder width, straight arms, and then we're going to pull the band across, stop right before it hits the chest, and then bring it together and stop right before it goes loose, like so. So we'll go through 20 reps, 20. I'm seeing this band is, it's got a nick in it, so I'm just going to hold somewhere else. So if you have a less or a stronger band, you can just drop one side of it and then pull it apart like so. And those of you with no bands at all, you can get yourself into this position, thumbs up, and then just work through this, shoulder blades together, squeezing that upper back through 20 reps. Let's get it. Okay. So, as you guys come to your end on there, should be feeling quite warm in our upper body, in our shoulders, in our back muscles. We are going to get you guys started on our first superset. We have 2 exercises that are really like close down to the floor. The first one is going to be a one arm half kneeling shoulder press. And then the second one is going to be a Superman with the band or towel in our hands where we're going to be pulling it in. So although I'm not going to be turning you guys and flipping you guys around today, that is an option. If you do have bands, we'll start off with the Superman. So if you have a long band like this, you can attach it to something and then pull it in, which is going to give you a little bit more direct work in your back, like in these muscles in your lats, which is the goal on this one, but not all of us have that available, including me, unless I do the whole flipperoo, which I'm not going to do right now, but you've probably all been there before. So what I'm going to do is hold this band sideways like this and work with the Superman through 10 reps total, where I'm just lifting my upper body, and then I'm going to pull in and squeeze my shoulders down and back. So I'm trying to keep my arms lifted the whole time, legs down, hips down. I'm squeezing my butt to help protect my lower back, because you guys know prone to lower back pain and arching in this one. So by squeezing, it helps prevent that. So we'll go through 10 reps total of this one. No pausing. We're just trying to work with holding our hands quite wide, tension on the band. And again, if the band was attached, I would be pulling it in towards my collarbones, towards my shoulders. So let's do 10, and then we are going to pair this with that other one that I was talking about, which is going to be our half kneeling one arm shoulder press, where you guys are going to complete 10 reps total. So we have done, we've been working our way in this like single arm shoulder press up to upward of like 15 reps. Today we are only doing 10. So we want to make sure that we are making this 10 really hard and really challenging. Like we can't do 12 or we can't do 15. We only want to get 10. So once you're done that one down there, this one is, I'm going to go into a double dumbbell situation. So I have both my dumbbells stacked one on top of the other here. I'm going to lift those guys up and start my first set going through these 10 reps at sort of like a normal tempo. Just 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Although I think that this is going to be a little bit too easy for me, I'm just going to start this first set 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm not going to pause. I'm not going to do anything except just do this first set. So those of you who have bands, what you're going to do is hold the band like this, and then you will press up against that band, anchored down by opposite hand, wobbling all over the place. So we'll do this on both sides. So you guys can do 10. And then we shall switch our legs and switch that kneel, and we'll do 10 on the other side. And we'll press. So reminder that the non-pressing arm should be out and strong, which is going to help us promote that strong core, strong body, so we don't have any movement happening in our body down here. So we'll go through the 10, and then we are doing it again. You guys probably saw that coming. We're going to go through 3 more sets total of these 2 together, back to back. No rest in between, except the time that it takes us to get in and set up to start our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever set. So once you guys are done this, again, kind of assess your situation on that shoulder press. Personally, doing that with the 16 pounds with 2 8-pound dumbbells, it was hard, but again, it was not the hardest thing in the world. So on my next set and my next 3 sets, I will tell you guys more about this when we start that part, but I'm going to make that harder somehow by probably slowing down, maybe adding a pause. Talk about that when we get there. Let's go back into our first one that we did, this Superman. So ideally, you want something to hold in your hands. So if you don't have a band, you probably have a towel, since you're probably at your house and you have those there, I hope. So you can grab onto one of those, and what that's going to do is just add some tension sideways. It's going to help us involve more muscles through our upper body, our upper back, over not holding anything, which works for sure. But you're going to get a little bit more if you have that tension outward for those muscles. So we'll go through 10. Now this one's never really going to feel like really, really hard. Most importantly is that you're thinking about where you're feeling it, making sure you're kind of sending that into the right place. So we should be feeling our big back muscles, our lats, the ones that run down kind of like the sides of our back, and of course a little bit in that mid-back there from you pulling that band or whatever you're holding apart. So we're thinking about all that, going through our 10 reps, And then we're going right into the shoulder press. I was not kidding when I said it was like mostly down on the floor. We'd be hanging on the floor. So we'll go into our second set. I'm gonna fold up my mat here so I have a bit more support for my knees. And I always like to talk about the fact that we don't necessarily need to be in a kneeling position. So those of you with like pre-existing issues in your knees or sensitive knees, you don't have to always kneel. You can stand, but I'm choosing this half kneeling position because of the core support that you get in it. When we do this same exercise standing, especially when we're going for 10, which is a little bit harder than doing like 15, in terms of weight, in terms of resistance, we tend to want to kind of arch our back a little bit when we press up, and you'll feel that happening. And so by being in this half kneeling position, it's really hard to do that, especially if you're kind of squeezing your butt and tilting your pelvis. So on this next set here, try to make it a little bit more challenging. You can either slow the down phase down, so the way down, you can take that up to like 4 seconds rather than 2. Normal is 1, 2, 1, 2, but we can do 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And that extra little 2 seconds there, I know it doesn't sound like much, but it's gonna make this entire set take longer, more time for your shoulders to be under that weight, or resistance, band, whatever you're using. And so it's gonna make it a lot harder if you add at that time. The other option that you can do is simply just hold at the top. And so it's really just whatever floats your boat, whatever you prefer. So we can push up and hold for 1, 2, and then just follow that same tempo down. So you can pick your poison, whatever you do right now, or if you didn't do anything on your next set here, try to do for your last 2 sets. So we'll get you guys going through your number 3 of these pull-ins. Now I know I didn't really mention it, but loop bands, you're completely fine to use loop bands for this Superman pull-in here. We just hold them in our hands here, preferably probably like a light one like this, and we can pull this in. Or if you would like, you can do the old double up, where we double up our bands and make a long band of 2 loop bands for just a wider something to hold. So you guys are going through set number 3. Doing it. So we got 10 and 10. All right, let's get it. So we'll go through this set number 3. You guys have one more round after this one. So we'll get it going on here. Nice strong finish. I'm trying to make them hard. We're only doing 10 reps. So maybe you want to kind of slow down a little bit on this 3rd and 4th set. It's your last 2. Whew. All right. So we'll get you guys going on here in your final sets. We have lots of time, squinting my eyes. We have about 2 minutes until we should be thinking about starting the next part. Thinking about starting to talk about the next part. So we'll finish up strong here. Remember, we really want to be feeling this final set. Feet down, push your elbows down into the floor, pull your shoulders back behind your ears, chin is tucked, and we'll go through D10. So you guys are doing your thing here for your final round. 10 reps. You got it. All right. So we'll finish up with our final set of our half kneeling shoulder press. Awesome. All right, let's do it. Let's work, you guys. Okay. All right, 10 and 10 should be hard. Once you're done, you can put those dumbbells and bands down and stand up off the floor. Grab yourself some water, walk it off. We're gonna take about 1 more minute here before I start to explain the next part. So take your time with it. Yes. All right, you guys, nice job, nice work. Part 1 is done. Moving on to the next part. So we have another superset coming at you here, combining a shoulder exercise and a back exercise. We're going to start off with the back exercise. It is a single-sided one. So we're going to do a one-arm rotational row, which is one that we have done before, and we're back at it. I'm going to be using my dumbbells in a bent-over fashion, where I'm just holding one arm and rowing in like this. TRXs, those can be used. We can lean back, pull in that one arm like so. Anchored bands, if I have that band attached in front of me, I can do the same row and pull it in like this. It really just depends on what you have available. In addition to the dumbbells, I will also show you guys the loop banded option, which is just the band anchored around our opposite foot. So this is the one we're going to start with. So you can grab whatever you're going to use and bring it over and get yourself ready with me to start your first set. So we're going to complete 12 reps per side. We're going to start off standing hip width apart, soft knees, nice posture, shoulders together. We'll push the hips back behind us until we're in this bent over position. I'm not quite parallel. I want to be up kind of like 45 degrees. Palm faces the leg. Then I'm going to pull in and turn the palm so that it faces the ribs. We're going through 12 reps total. So as I'm pulling in, I'm also pulling out slightly. So I'm pulling in and slightly out to the side so that I don't end up touching my body with my arm. I want to have that arm slightly away from the body. So we'll go through 12 of these total, and that applies to whatever you guys are using, from your bands to your TRXs. So we can go through, I have this looped around opposite foot here, which makes it a little bit harder, or you can put it around same foot, which makes it a little bit easier. So we'll do our thing here, doing both sides, 12 and 12. So we're trying to keep a nice strong core, which you should have had from the very start there of that setup, where we pushed our hips back and found that position. And that's why it's so important, because it's going to help you activate your core and overall just keep your lower back safe, not adding extra stress on there, because no one wants that. So we'll go through 12 and 12. Once you guys are finished, we're going to pair this one with a shoulder exercise, which is going to be our lateral raises. Yay! So we're going to do these laterals a little bit quite actually specific today. So once you guys are done your rows, if you're using bands, preferably for these laterals, you'll want a longer set band. So if you're using loop bands, I would highly suggest that you take 2 and you make yourself a long band. Or maybe you just have one of these kicking around, that works too. Ideally, dumbbells is best, but I just know the bands are one that lots of us have. And the dumbbells might be too heavy, we're gonna find out. So what you guys are going to do is a T-hold. So we're gonna hold up here, one goes down, the other one goes down, and then both go down. And then that was 1. So I lift back up, right, and then the left, and then down, that's 2. Okay, so this one, we're going to do 6 of these total, and that's 3. So you can start right now with me here. Both up, 1 down, back up, other one, back up, and then both down. Okay, so we'll repeat 6 of those total. If you need to make this a little bit easier, you can bend your arms up like so, rather than keeping them straight. If you don't have other options for lighter dumbbells. And then, of course, my band peeps. You guys are just doing this with your band, again, preferably a long one. And you'll go right, left, and then both. And you're counting up the same thing. Woo, shibarns. Okay, so we're going to go through our reps, 6 of those total. And then it will be our repeating this. Back to our single arm rotational rows, where we're doing 12, 12. And then we're going to get this lateral raise combination, where you guys are going through 6 of them, but like the whole shebang equals 1. The 2 arms 1, 1, and then that's 1. All right. So whenever you're ready, we're not going to be taking any rest in between these two. We're going to try our best to just go back to back. Unless you need a quick sip of water. Once you're done your lateral raises, quick moment to ponder your life. But there is no prescribed rest in this one. So let's get into it. Second set. So we'll go through our second round of these rows. And same strong setup, nice posture. The knees sticking out the butt, rotating that arm so that your palm faces the hip. And then we pull in and turn the arm. So we're getting that rotation action in this row. We're also trying to pull the shoulder back so we create this 90-degree angle. You guys often hear me talk about how we don't want to have the chicken wing situation going on in our rows, and that definitely applies here. So we want to be pulling that shoulder back so that we don't have that hiked up elbow. If you're unsure if you're doing that or not, you can just look and do a little shoulder check on your first few reps. If you feel like that's happening, and just make sure that it's not happening. So, second set, let's do it. So, we are doing our thing here. So whatever you guys are using, all of those same rules apply with where we want the arm to go, whether you have a band attached, whatever it is going on. Think about all these things. Okay, and then we will go right into our second set of this lateral combination. So we want 1, 2, and then down, and that's 1 rep. There it is. Nice work. The hold, way harder than it looks. So although I said that you can bend your arms, that is an option. I would prefer that you don't. So if you cannot, if you can do this without bending your arms, if you just like it because it feels nice and it feels easy, that's not okay. Okay, try to keep them as straight as possible. But if you feel like you have to actually use your body's momentum to get those weights up, or you can feel like it's not a good pain in there, then you can try bending your arms and just finishing off your set if you need to. Calves, you have to do 2 more of them. So we're going to get going on our third and fourth set. Back to the rows, back to the back. Let's get it. All right. 12 and 12. We got it. So especially if you're using a band, same rules apply, but we want to make sure that we're not allowing this band to pull our hand over. We want to keep that hand out to the side, and we're working with the rotation here, but we want to ensure that the hand doesn't drift towards that anchor point down there. I'm using a pretty light band here. If I was using a stronger band, I might not be able to do this, in which case I might want to, again, move the band over to the other foot, which is going to make it feel a lot easier because there's less distance from the band to my foot to my hand, rather. So just a little tip that you guys can use. Put in your back pocket, use for later. I'll hit you right now. We'll go through this second last set. We have 1 more after this one. And then we are moving on. Woohoo! All right, you guys, let's get it. Lateral raises. These 8s are really pushing the limits and a little bit too heavy for this. Remember to use your breath. Exhaling, inhaling nice and deep as you go through these. Trying your best just to not hold your breath, because I know sometimes it feels like it makes it easier, but it does not. Okay, it's just going to make you dizzy, a little bit lightheaded. You do not want that. Nobody does. All right, so we're approaching our final set. We'll finish up strong here. 12, 12, and then 6 of this combo. Get it. Good job, you guys. It's a strong finish to these 2 exercises. Should be feeling all the things in our back. So we're pulling that shoulder back. We're making that 90-degree angle. Squeezing our back muscles. Last set. Got the final one of our laterals. And then we are moving on to the last part of the strength. And then we got core and we're done. Yay! There you go. So 12 and 12. Focusing on that squeeze. All right. So you guys have about 2 minutes until we are going to be needing to start our next part, so that we have time to get through it and get through the final part here. So I'll give you about 1 more minute to finish up this combo here, this the rows and the lateral raises. Should be approaching the second part, the laterals, pretty quick here. So we'll get those done, but do not rush. 60 seconds is plenty of time for you to do this set, so take your time with it. In fact, if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can slow down a little bit. So you guys know that always makes it harder, but you probably don't need to do that. We'll just try to finish up just the same as we did in those first 3 sets that we did. And then once you guys are done, you can put those down for a memento. Grab yourself some water. We're going to take, again, about 1 more minute here. And you can just listen to me explain the next part, the last part. So we'll get these lateral raises done. Oh, they are burning. So once you guys are done, again, put it down, walk away. We're going to move on to the final part where you will need all of that equipment still. So don't actually put it away. Just put it down. We are going to start you guys off with a neutral grip row. So if you have a TRX, great option, because this is a really strong one, really strong exercise, pulling in the TRX like this in this neutral grip position. So we want to be a little bit more narrow than our push-ups. If our push-ups are right here, I'm going to tuck in just slightly, so I'm in this more like A-line position like this, rather than like I guess it's a wide A, but we want to be like a bit more narrow than that. So that's where we're going to be pulling in both dumbbells, no turning our wrists, nothing like that. I'm going to be using, well, I said my dumbbells in a bent over fashion, but all those same options apply. If you have a TRX, you can row it in. If you have that anchor band, you can row it in. And of course, I have my loop band option coming at you hot after we start this first set here. So we are going to pair this with 2 other exercises, but we'll start with this one, get her done, and then go through the other 2 within this first set. And then, of course, we're going to repeat. So let's start so we can get this done. So grab onto whatever you are going to use. We'll get ourselves into pretty much the same position as we were just in if you were doing the bent over 1-arm row. And we are going to pull in. We're working with 15 reps total, 15. So these weights are not the hardest thing in the world. I've definitely rowed a lot heavier than this for this neutral grip. So what I'm going to do is really focus on squeezing my shoulder blades and pulling my elbows back and together. And I'll probably end up adding in those slight pauses where I hold and just take a moment to just think about what I'm feeling at the top there, which is again going to make this feel a lot harder for that 15 rep, because we should only want to get 15. So you guys can start that right now. Do your first set, 15 reps of them for the back. Okay, good job, you guys. So, excuse me, we will get those done. We have 2 more things going on with this one. The next one does not need any equipment. We're going to be on the floor again. Yay, welcome back, laying on the floor. It's a different variation of a Superman. Now, you guys have probably remembered this exercise that we've done with the straight arms where we kick the straight arms back. We're going to do something similar in a Superman position. So I'm going to be laying on my tummy with some space around my sides here. Same idea with the feet. I want to have them down, and then my arms are going to be extended down with my palms facing the floor like this. And then what I'm going to do is pull my shoulder blades together, and then relax them, and then pull them together. And I'm just a little bit tight on squeeze. Scooch over just slightly so that I can, again, create that same narrow A position with my arms. I want to keep my chin tucked. And we're going through 15 reps. Let's do it. So we want to really focus on straight arms, palms down, and you'll feel all sorts of work happening in these guys in your back. Back of your shoulders. It's the burner. So we'll do that 15 times. Ooh, the high rep finish. So I needed some time for this. Good job. That one is way harder than it looks. It just looks so innocent, but then you do it and it's like, whoa, where did all those come from? Okay, so get your 50 in, you guys. Once you're done, you can stand up. We have one more for this tricep that we are going to do, which is an external rotation. So over the past couple weeks, we've been doing something similar in a raising fashion. We're going to do simply just the external rotation today. So you're going to work through 15 reps, holding preferably a band like this, and then opening up that band against your hands. So we're trying to keep parallel forearms, and then we want to open up wider than that without moving this top part of our arm so that we are rotating outward and working that rotator cuff in our shoulder. So we're going through 15 reps. Now, if you don't have a band like this, you can either grab a long band and hold it like this and pull apart like so, or you can grab onto a towel, apply some pressure to that towel, and then work with those same lifts and lowers that we did the last couple weeks here to give you that same work without you being able to like open up your hands like that. So we got 15. Ooh, they burn. And then we will take a little bit of rest here. You guys are going to take about 30 seconds of rest before we start our next set because, ouch, you should be burning a lot after you've done all of these three together like that, although we had a little bit of time in between. But there is a little bit of rest. You have 30 seconds of rest between each of our sets. So that's when you're done your last one, which is this one. So once you guys feel ready, you can shake it out. Once you're good, you can get going on to your second set. We're going through 3 more, 4 total, and then we have our final part, which is back down on the floor for good to stay where we're going to be working our core. So let's get into this second set. Back to the first one. We have those rows, neutral grip ones. So soft knees, hips back, and we pull in. And again, that first set felt a little bit easy. So second set, I'll hold these weights in here, squeeze my back, and just think about my back muscles and go through my 50. Woo! There it is. So for those of you who are ever using an anchored band, I often talk about this. I don't really do it all the time, but I sometimes will kind of flip you guys around and anchor you off of the desk leg there. But if you are working with a band that's like attached in front of you, whether it's the ones with the handles or just a long loop one like this, you'll always kind of see me standing in a staggered stance. And so that is something that you can absolutely think about doing, because what this is going to do is help you avoid any kind of momentum or like gravity. So if you have your 2 feet together, you can kind of lean back into it. It also helps us keep a stronger core. We have this staggered stance here. You can kind of tighten up your tummy there, and it just helps protect everything in there. So that is a little disclaimer for anchored band peeps, if that's ever you. Because you never know, it might be. Maybe you have a TRX most of the time, and maybe you go somewhere else and you don't have that, and so that's something that you can do. So we'll get through our second set, and we have 15, followed by 15 down here, which I feel like I just don't have enough space. All right. So arms, feet down, core tight. You can squeeze your butt. Again, same thing on this one. And then we're just lifting up, squeezing our shoulder blades together in this backward position here. And we'll feel lots of action happening in our upper back, between our shoulder blades, down the sides of our back, it is a burner, especially when you do it 15 times, like you guys have to do it right now. Woo! And so yeah, no equipment, you don't need any. I suppose eventually we would work our way up to holding something light in our hands, but definitely we don't need to do that today. Just think about that squeeze, bring those shoulder blades together, pull them down, get the 15, and then we'll go into our final one, which is those external rotations. Now for these ones, you certainly do not need a really strong band. In fact, you probably want like one of your lighter bands that you have. You want to make sure that we're never coming closer than this. We don't want to have the band go loose, and then we want to pull wider. Now the wider we pull, the harder it's going to be. So if I have my hands come out further, it's going to be harder, whereas if I don't, it's going to be easier. So that's something that you can decide, and of course it might depend on the strength of your band. Okay, third set, let's get it. We got two more to go through the rows, the straight arms, and the shoulders. Okay. Good job, you guys. All right, so we'll get through this third set. Got these last two going on here. 15 reps across the board. Feeling the burns, especially on that last one, those last two. So we'll get going on our third set. You guys have lots of time, so please take your time. Same rules apply. If you want to make this a little harder, slow it down. It's always in your control. And I mean, sometimes it's just hard to do, and I totally understand that. But when you make stuff feel harder, and when you do it like really, you just make it really feel challenging, that's what makes you stronger, and that's what makes it feel easier, like next time you do it. And so that's why it's always important. I'm always harassing you guys and on your asses about making this stuff feel and really feeling these ones. So we'll take that into our final two sets. Woo, where we're at right now. Whoop, whoop. Those Supermans. So shoulder blades, trying to squeeze them together. If you're feeling pressure in your ribs, I know that's a common one with this one, you might accidentally kind of be lifting a little bit too much. So just relax and remember just the shoulder blades. Woo! All right. Good job, you guys. So working on to our third set of these external rotations. So we can hold this band like so, pull it apart. So this one should not be painful. I mean, you're gonna feel like that, like burning pain in your shoulders, like that, like really like fiery pain, but that's the kind of pain that you can work through. It should be like dull, and it kind of creeps up on you and aches, and then it kind of gets progressively worse and worse until you have to actually stop. That's what we call lactic acid, and that's completely normal, and that is the burn that you can work through. The sharp, stabby, pinchy pain, if that ever happens to you, especially in your shoulders, stop what you're doing and make that not happen, because we want to avoid that like acute, quick, sharp pain as much as we can, because that is the bad pain. That's not the kind of pain you want to be working through. So even for this one, like the last couple weeks, I talked about an option, a substitute, because I just know that this external rotation just sometimes just bugs people's shoulders. And so instead I said you can do a band pull apart. And so these rules are always going to apply because we're all different and we all have different stuff going on. And some of us, you know, we like got in a sports injury when we were like 14 and we're still paying the price kind of deal. And so, yeah, use your own judgment, but always, always avoid that really like sharp pain. So we'll go into our final set here, you guys. This is it, the last one. We're gonna finish up as strong as we can. We have 4 minutes, lots of time, until we should be starting our last part here, the core, the floor core. Super simple one today, but yeah, It's not easy. It's just simple. And it's on a timer. I'm just gonna set it for us while you guys finish up your last set. All right. So we are working 45, 15, 12 minutes. Okay, so let's get it in here, you guys. Final set. This is it. The last one. 50 reps all the way around. So really, I mean, this whole entire tricep will take you just under about 5 minutes because these take quite a while, 4 minutes. So take your time, right to the end, going through these 15 of each. Feeling it the most on this last set, not only because we're the most tired, but we're also just simply thinking about it a little bit more. Hopefully. Okay, so let's finish it up. 15, 15, and 15. Doing it. There you go. Back muscles worked in this one. This combo is a brutal one in the best way possible. All right, you guys. So we'll take our time. We've got about 2 minutes until we will be pressing start on that timer over there to start us on our core, which is, by the way, all down on the floor. So once you're finished this last set of this tricep here, you can officially put everything away. We're not going to be using any equipment unless you want to make one of these exercises a little bit harder, in which case the dead bug, I'll give you guys a little teaser, so you can keep either your anchored band for that banded dead bug, or if you want to have a dumbbell loaded dead bug or a loop band loaded, we will talk about that. But besides that, we don't need any equipment. So once you guys are done, you can grab yourself some water and make your way down onto the floor for this last part here, which I am literally moving us now. Okay. So hopefully you feel good. We are going to get you guys started on it's a superset. There's 2 exercises going on, although one of them is a double-sided exercise. So we're going to be working off of this timer, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. That 15 seconds, yes, is rest, but it's not really like rest. It's mostly just time for you to like switch between these exercises. So we're going to go 45 seconds, static side plank hold. We're going to be holding a side plank for 4 to 5 seconds. Woo! And then we're going to do the other side. Yes. And then we're going to do a dead bug. Now, I just kind of briefly talked about the dead bug. For some of us, like, the dead bug is good. It's really hard. We're good here, and we can go through this like so. But for some of us, we want to make this more challenging. And a couple ways you can do that, either anchoring a band behind you, grabbing that band and pulling it over, and then just working with the legs. That's a great option. And we've done that one before. I've flipped you guys around and showed that one to you over there. The other option is a long lever dumbbell dead bug. So we can hold the dumbbells and then lower them back, and then hold them, and then go through the dead bug. So you don't have to use the equipment, okay? It's just an option, all right? So those are the 2 we're going to do. We're going through 4 sets total, and then we are done. Done. All right, so we're going to start off with the side plank. I'm going to show you 4 different levels, maybe 3, 4, to make the side plank easier or harder. So we're going to start at the hardest one, and then I'm going to walk you guys through how to make it easier, which you can do on your own through these sets. You ready? I know you are. Okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. So hardest, we're going to stack our feet, stack our arm over our shoulder over top of our elbow, and then lift up into the side plank. Now, if you cannot hold this, what I want you to do is separate your feet. This is level 2. So this is going to be a little bit easier. If it's still too hard, what you can do is drop down, put your legs back together, and then lift up into this half side plank. And then if this is still too hard, we can use a slight bit of support from this hand here while still keeping our hips forward. So you guys are holding this here for 10 more seconds. Chest open, looking forward or looking down, but not looking over at the hand here. We want to keep our neck straight. And time. Okay, so switcheroo. So whatever you did on the first side, we're going to do over here. So most likely you just did what I did and you're trying to find which one you wanted to do. And so we're going to do that again over here. Lifting up, and I'm in the full. If it's too hard, I will lower that foot down so I have that staggered stance here. If this is still too hard, I will knees and then hips forward. And then if I need to, I can slight support. But we'll try our best to keep this hand off and hips forward, chest forward, breathing through this. You guys have 20 seconds left. Not a drill. This is going to be challenging. You can already feel it, I know. But you got this. 3, 2, 1, rest. Nice job, you guys. Okay, so we're going into dead bug. So it's our second one. So again, if you have something in your hands, that's great. I'm going to keep my body weight, but if you want to add something in there, you can. Lower back squished into the floor. That is the most important thing, regardless of what you are doing. Opposite arm and leg lowering. We get a little bit of coordination work on this one. If I need to make it a little easier, I can bend the leg. And I would do that if I couldn't keep my back down. So if I found that my back was like popping off the floor when I sent my leg out, I would push it down and then just bend it rather than straight. And I would have probably a much easier time keeping my back down. Overall, get way more out of this. Deeper, all the things. 10 seconds. So when in doubt, just hold this dead buggy position and breathe. 3, 2, 1, and nice job, you guys. Okay, that was our first set. So yes, we're gonna do it again 3 more times. Back to the first one, the side plank hold. Now, if you want to talk to me about it, I think side planks are one of the hardest exercises out there, and I don't like them very much. Not only because they're hard, but I just have always found them kind of a little bit awkward. So I found personally, I like this more staggered position here, but you can always play around with it, and you can go kind of back and forth between the two as well. Go back up here, and then you can step out if you need to, and just overall do something to stay in that side plank position. If you're feeling a lot of pressure on your elbows, we want to make sure that we're trying to distribute the weight between the whole entire forearm, hand, forearm, elbows, all of that. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Good job, you guys. Okay. Flip through, other side. And if you're feeling pressure in your shoulders, because that's another one, especially when we're holding for this long, you can try just taking it down a level or taking it to the lower level, to the easier level, and just doing an easier version that I showed you, whether it was staggering or dropping down onto your knees, whatever you need to do. To avoid that sharp pinch of pain, but you're going to feel some burn, so try to work through it as best you can. 20 seconds left on this side for our second set. There you go. So chest open, hips forward. There you go, you guys. Breathing right here. You got this. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good job. Okay. Dead bugging it. Yay. Second set. So you guys can work with either, again, those dumbbells, that band. If you want to add a loop band, you can hold it in your hands like this. And we'll go through this dead bug. So when we're doing a dead bug, when we're like holding something, it takes a little bit less coordination. So you can keep that in mind as well. If you are wanting to work the coordination, or if that's something that you know you're not so good at, maybe you should be working it, adding in the opposite arm and leg really does test that brain to body connection here. 10 seconds left. So you have 2 more sets to do after this one. So you can try to stay consistent with what you're doing right now. Rest. Good job. Okay. Back to the side planks. Side plank city today in this one. But you know, that means you're going to do them tomorrow. That's a good thing. All right, you guys, here we go. So third set, lifting up to this side plank, trying to breathe and distribute that weight through the forearm into the hand. Keep yourself right over top of your shoulder, hips forward, and we are breathing here. Oh yes, halfway, 20 seconds left. There you go. Breathing through this one, you guys got this. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, switch sides. Nice work. Good job. We're gonna get the other side done. Yay! Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Ready or not? Here we go. Lifting up. Same thing we did on the first side. We need it over here. So same, pushing the hips forward. Same, trying to control the breath. Keep it flowing. 30 seconds. Good job, you guys. Nice deep inhales, exhales. We're more than halfway there. You have this. Take 5 more nice, deep, long breaths. We will be there. Just take your time. 10 more seconds. Keep those hips forward. Keep that chest open. Don't let it cave in. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Nice job, you guys. Ooh. Okay. Dead bugs. Dead bugging it into our last set. We have 1 more after this one. We get these dead bugs done. Get through our final set. And we got done. Here we go. Dead bugs. Woo. So lower back. Push it down. Now, I'm always talking about your breathing. It's important that you do breathe, but we are intentional with our breathing. We want to breathe on the hardest part of each exercise. On a dead bug, hardest part is when we send our legs out, because that's when the gravity and everything wants your back to pop off the floor, is when we send the legs out. So that's where we want the exhale, is on the way out. So we go inhale, and then exhale on the way down. And as you exhale back down, yes, make that happen. 3, 2, 1, rest. Nice job, you guys. Okay. All right, we are here. The final sets. We're gonna get her done. Last round. Ready? All right, get ready. Here we go. Last set. This is it on these ones, which is probably good news, because if you're like me, you probably don't like this side plank very much. But you know it's good for you. We're getting lots of core work. We're getting lots of stability work in our shoulders, and we are challenging ourselves, not only our bodies, but our brains. It's really hard to hold this for 45 seconds. But you can do it. You have 15 seconds left. Regardless, just do not touch your hips down to the floor, and you are good to go. Try to hold it there, 10 more seconds. Stay with us. Yes. 1 more deep breath. 3, 2, 1, rest. Good job, you guys. Okay. Other side, get her done. Other side plank, and dead bug to the finish line. Ready? All right, pop up. Here we go. Second set, or second side of our last set of the side plank. Good news. But you gotta get her done first. I ain't done yet. 30 seconds. Good job, guys. Chest open. There it is. And keeping your neck as straight as possible. Get forward if you can. 15 seconds. More than halfway. We have it. There it is. Good job, you guys. Stay with us. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Nice. Okay. Last set. Dead bug. And we are done. We got a couple quick stretches, and then you guys are free to go. Yeah. All right. Ready? Set. Here we go. So we have all the things to think about now with that exhale on the working part of the dead bug. So we'll try to incorporate that into this final set here. Finishing nice and strong. Taking us right to the end. Trying to breathe into each of those reps. Pushing your back down as strong as you can into the floor with that exhale. 15 seconds. We have this. It's only a few more per side, so take your time with them. Make sure the back is tight. Don't give up. Because you're there. In 3, 2, and time. Good job, you guys. That is it. We are done. Yay. Okay, so we're going to go into a couple of stretches. We're going to flip over into this all-four position here and stretch out our lower back and our abs. So the first one, you can take an inhale and then exhale. Round your back up. And then flip that and now arch your back. And you can go through this a few times, 2 or 3. Maybe you want to do more because this one feels so good. It's totally up to you, but we'll at least do about 3 of them here. So you're getting your back and your core. So once you're done those ones, you can sit onto your heels, walk your hands away, and hang out down here for a little bit, for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute if you want to. But at least 30. This is going to help us stretch out that lower back as well as our mid-back and our lats down the sides of our back. So you should feel all that stuff opening, especially because of all the stuff that we just did. So we will take some time holding this one here. And then, once you guys are done, again, if you want to stay down there, you can, or you can maybe go back down there. The last one that we can do today, focus on, is this wall chest stretch, but we're going to make it more focused on our shoulders. I'm just going to, I feel like my eyes are cut off. So hand, normally we've done this here, with the hand kind of in line with the shoulder. What I'm going to do is move the hand down, and now I'll turn away, which will give me more of a shoulder-focused stretch, less of a chest-focused stretch. So you can do this too if you want to get a little stretching action in the front here, but with the hand a little bit lower, it'll help us stretch out all the stuff we did from the raises and the presses and all the shoulder stuff. And so you can take 30 seconds at least, upward to a minute. Spend it down here. If you have a door frame, do both hands at once so that you save yourself some time. And you can always go into the midline. You can bring the hands up a little bit higher and just take your time with that one. So we know that one helps us with promoting good posture. And so if that's something that you are wanting to work on and kind of be more conscious of, stretching does help that. And we're nice and warm. Now is the perfect time to stretch. So feel free to do that more. If you guys want to go back down onto the floor, do a little bit more lower back, core stretching, whatever you want to do, but you are done with me. We are done for today. Thank you so much to Carly for joining me live. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And if you guys are watching the replay, drop a comment so that I know you were here. Super happy that our internet did not cut out today, and I got the full recording. So yay us. I will see you guys tomorrow for our leg day, and then it is the weekend. So have a great day, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.